Well, hello and welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Bonsoir, Hawk School. It's lovely to walk into this room and see all those hearts first thing. How you doing? I hope well. Hey, Commander and Chill and always grateful. Robski, so good to see you. Turtle Moves. Yeah, it's good. It's a good Tuesday. You know why? It's Taco Tuesday. And no, Robski, I must dispel the rumors. I'm going to lay to rest right here. It was not made up by Futurama. Taco Tuesday is a thing. It's a thing. It is the day I am guaranteed to have a taco. And I love tacos. Hey, Charlie Boo. How you doing? Nice to have you here. I'm in a really good mood, despite the rain we've had for days and days and days. But damn, legally, everything's popping off everywhere. I got more legal things to read and amuse myself with than I have hours in the day. I have to pick and choose. Y'all know I just did Daybell yesterday. I did Chad Daybell. And right when I got done streaming, Lori Vallow Daybell's attorneys filed motions. Like, what? Like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. There'll be more coming on that, but that's not what today's about. Today, we're going to talk about Daniel Masterson's criminal trial. Y'all know I've been following that. It's heavily linked with Scientology. And here's the really funny part. They went to court yesterday, and Daniel Masterson's attorney asked the judge to not let anybody talk about Scientology during the trial. Nope, sit down. I'm not kidding. Yep, he actually went there. Because weren't these the crazy people that actually submitted all the writings of Scientology as proof that there couldn't be a case against Daniel Masterson because these people had no right to say anything about him? They submitted their own doctrine and then got pissed when the prosecution decided to use it against them. Yeah, those guys. Yeah. Well, now they're actually petitioning Judge Almeida to not let Scientology be mentioned during the court proceedings. Yeah, I kid you not. Yeah, I got a good laugh out of that. Hopefully you all find it amusing too. Hey, Facty, so good to see you, Mrs. Cassandra. Hey, Tammy. Juju, yes, you just missed the announcement. And I want to tell you that our friend Juju there also follows a lot of this legal stuff. And she actually keep me up to the Daybell fiasco from last night that I missed because I was done streaming. But there'll be another one. Yeah, there'll be another coming soon. But anyway, back to Masterson. This guy. Yeah, let's talk about that guy. Okay. This guy, he got some trouble. October 11th, we will be starting jury selection. That's another thing. They were in court yesterday. And it was just a motions hearing. There was going to be some talk about, witnesses and proceedings and, what's going to go forward. And, Daniel Masterson, as all defendants, is not required to be at motion hearings. But there he was in his suit. And man, he was looking good yesterday. I actually used the picture captured from in front of the courthouse on my thumbnail. Yep, that was him yesterday, going to the court, representing himself. Now, they were going to be talking about witnesses, so I'm wondering why? Why was he there? Was it because they don't want anybody to talk about Scientology, so he had to show up to give him the evil eye themselves? I don't know. I'm just being funny. But could be. I mean, they're not known to leave people alone. That is part of what was discussed yesterday. Part of what was discussed on whether or not the harassment and intimidation of the women who have come forward with the charges against him criminally. 3 of them, Jane 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3. Jane Doe 3, who has actually been identified as Miss Bixler because she said that Danny Masterson and his PR team already outed her way back in the early 2000s anyway about it. So it didn't really make any sense to keep her name private. So she's there with her name. The other 2 are trying to keep their anonymity, and I don't blame them. It's a high profile case. Because it's criminal, we don't really get a lot of the filings. We have to go by the actual court recording reports that come out. Many of the media are showing up for all the hearings and attending everything. And that's a benefit to us because we get it written out in black and white straight. I also want to congratulate and actually commend Tony Ortega for his actual reporting on it because he gets the deets really quick, really fast. I'm so happy to be subscribed to him because when it comes to reporting on anything in regards to the shadiness going on in all of the lawsuits, and I say all with big, giant capital letters like ALL, Scientology lawsuits that are going on right now. Simply, they're up to their eyeballs in paper. And you know what? It ain't just the paper they're filing because they are tree killers. They have killed forests in legal documentation. Let me tell you, they will throw anything at anything for weeks, for months, for years to keep it buried in paperwork. But I think people are getting on to them, and so are the courts. They're kind of trickling down a lot of stuff, not in their favor. Now, sticking to a few things that happened yesterday in the LA District Court with Judge Almeida. Okay. Not everything went the prosecutor's way. Okay. Not everything. Well, let's just talk about a couple of things that came up and then we'll say about how it settled. Okay. One of them was that the prosecution wanted to bring forward a witness, okay, from 1996. She said that she had been sexually abused by Masterson back in 1996. She was not laying charges, but they wanted her to testify because they're trying to show a pattern here. Because at the time in 1996, Danny Masterson was only 20 years old. Yesterday, one of the many issues both sides argued about was whether or not that victim, who the prosecutor, DA Reinhold Mueller, wants to bring forth, would be allowed. She's being referred to as an 1108 witness, also known in lingo as prior bad acts. You know, they're trying to show that he's capable, that he's done it before. They are not mentioning the victim's name, and I would not even if it was listed, because if they're not going to actually be part of the court proceeding, they should not be publicly named. That's how I feel about it. And since I didn't know at the time, I held it, okay? And I'm still going to hold it because when it came down to it, the judge was kind of on the defense side here and will not be allowing that testimony. It's really, really old, and since there was no trial to convict him in 1996 or after of this allegation, which it's an allegation. How can it be a prior bad act if it hasn't been proven? I'm kind of with her on that. It does show a pattern that other people have accused, and maybe that will come up. She did leave a loophole. She's a very, very clever judge. I like this judge a lot. Okay, Judge Almeida, she went and said that, hey, if the defense inadvertently brings it up, the door is open. Go right in. But the prosecution cannot lay it out as a witness from the start. So there's still hope that it will come through as far as the prosecutor is concerned. If the defense makes a mistake, or if it gets brought up by another witness on the defense's side, or Danny himself or his attorneys open that door, they're allowed to walk right in with all of it. So there we have that. The witness at this point, it should be noted that this witness says she was never involved in Scientology. Okay. She said she felt drugged, and she had a similar experience with Masterson and twice woke up to find him in the act. This is similar to the testimony of Jane 1, Jane 2, and Jane 3. All right. But Masterson's criminal defense attorney, who is by Philip Cohen, by the way, he said that the witness did not characterize the innocence as an assault, but that it was really just bad behavior when she gave her deposition. She did not use, according to him, she didn't use the appropriate language that he would look for. And the judge kind of did not exactly rule immediately. These rulings came today just in time for me to tell you about it. They trickled in all day today. All this was presented yesterday from motions filed much earlier in the weeks and months prior. Another thing that happened at yesterday's hearing was that there was a really long witness list that the prosecution plans to call. And defense complained about that list because it includes 12 law enforcement officials, 18 civilians, and 2 experts. He said that they're really going too hard. How hard are you supposed to go in a rape trial? Excuse me. Hello? Like, aren't they supposed to lay out their case? And it takes all those witnesses to do it, then held to the year? Like, it's your job to defend against it. At least you know what's coming. It's a criminal trial. You know everything they're going to present. Come on. A little bit of whining there, Mr. Cohen. A little more legwork might be necessary. I found it amusing what he was complaining about. I mean, I'm still stuck on the fact that he doesn't want Scientology mentioned when he's argued Scientology for months and months and months, years. This has been going on for more than a year or so. Come on. Scientology's been every single damn briefing. He took it to the Supreme Court. Oh, but hey, I got news on that front too. Hey, they didn't do so well. It's on the we're not going to look at it list. Yeah, we don't have to worry about Scientology coming in with a win saying you're not allowed to bring anything happened in Scientology up in the public venue, whether it be criminal or not, by the way, because you are affecting our religious freedom and the Supreme Court said so. Well, that ain't going to happen. Not during this session anyway. So take a seat, Scientology. And now your defense team is arguing, please, let's not discuss Scientology. Well, we could actually substitute the word Scientology, like let's not discuss the losers right now. Take the L. Take a seat. And yeah, I'm gloating a little. I'm a little happy about that. Sorry. My bias is showing, but come on, it's amusing as hell. You know, that's amusing. And if you don't see the actual hypocrisy of it in the actual amusement of that, then don't watch my shows because it's gonna be where I go. It's gonna be where I go every time because that was some hella ridiculousness. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So now that we got that out of the way. Oh, there's also another expert, a former Sea Org official named Claire Headley, and her name's public and out there. She put it out there, so I'll say it. She is actually scheduled to testify also for the prosecution. And Cohen didn't like that either. He said, well, she sued Scientology. She can't speak on Scientology. And the judge found a way around it. It found a fair way to present it. Said, you're right, that would be prejudicial. Or we bring somebody in who obviously is not a fan of Scientology. But hey, she lived the life and she could speak upon the procedures, and that's all we're going to ask her about. We'll keep it to that because she being in that life, being a decorated officer of that life, she is entitled to speak on it. She will not tell of her personal experience, of her personal lawsuit, or anything about it, but she will speak on procedure in Scientology because she knows it well. That's an expert. She qualifies. She's in. She's in. Okay. She's going to also testify about how the delays in the reporting happened, how that commonly happens. What procedures are in place that make that happen. This is very important for this particular trial because, as we know, all of these cases happened a long time ago in 2001, in 2003, well outside the normal statute of limitations. But in California, they have that loop. They made amendments to say when there is a reason that you couldn't come forward, we will listen to it. We will let you present it, and then we will decide if the statute of limitations needs to be extended for you. And in this case, in all 3 of the Jane Doe's cases, it was extended forward because they could prove that they were harassed, harangued, ridiculed, prevented from policy while they were members of Scientology from coming forward and pressing charges. that they tried to follow the procedures in Scientology to make this to stay members, that it wasn't until they left the church that they were free to possibly pursue legal recourse. And even then, they made a damn good case and are filing also civilly against Scientology for all of the harassment that happened afterwards, all of the harassment that tried to keep them from coming forward with this. But it didn't work, not this time. The court system, the legal system, was on the side of the victims in allowing it to go forward, and said that Masterson needed to face the accusers and needed to face a court of law in regards to what happened here, that there was enough through a grand jury to charge him, and so they did. The defense fought hard yesterday. I'm going to tell you, Mr. Cohen earned his money because he also tried to keep out all of that harassment. He did not want that to be part of the trial, even though that's the reason we're having a trial. Like all these years later, 20 years later, we're having a trial because of that harassment. They did not want that harassment mentioned. Well, so here you go. We're not allowed to talk about Scientology, and we're not allowed to talk about what Scientology did. We want it only to be about Masterson. Well, that's not possible here. The two are entwined in this case, fairly or not, because Danny Masterson was a Scientologist, and Scientology itself protected him from the charges of the accusers for 20 years. How does it not come up? How do they reasonably think that's not going to be mentioned? Especially since they brought it up first. They tried to get the whole case thrown because of it. Remember that. You could go back to the motions. They filed motion after motion to get everything tossed because of Scientology. Now all of a sudden it's, please don't mention Scientology, because Danny Masterson will be thought of unfairly. Scientology, just the word, Cohen said, comes with such a heavy hit. He won't recover. It'll be unfair. I don't think that's really fair of Mr. Cohen. I mean, it's partially a reality, yes, but it's not one that they didn't do themselves. They brought it in. It's in. So there are over 20 instances of harassment listed in the prosecution's notes of what they could bring forward. But they reassured the defense a little bit and said, don't worry, we're only going to bring forward the 3 or 5 worst times that they did anything. We won't overdo it with the jury. We'll give you that, which was a concede. I mean, they could have took days and days, but for the, let's just say for expedience and to keep the trial running smoothly, and they only have a certain time limit, let's just say that they're going to take it a little easy, or at least they made it seem that way. Yeah. As far as him being a Scientologist, I believe he still is. I'm not sure. I do want to check on this because there's another lawsuit that says there's another lawsuit for someone who left Scientology that is getting a lot of past assault charges claimed at them. And that man, Paul Haggis, is saying that Scientology is doing it to him because he left. And he's linking it to Masterson. So I don't know if the talk of Masterson actually leaving Scientology is true or not. The last I heard, he still was, but I am actually looking at that, Juju. So anything that you find, please let me know, because I wonder what the truth is in regards to his status with Scientology right now. They have fought hard for him. So I would think they wouldn't be if he was out, because when you're out of Scientology, you're out. You are enemy number one. That's how they normally act. It's their normal procedure. But however, they might be trying to save face here. This is a very, very public case and criminal at that. Yeah. If we can't say Scientology, then we will have to talk about L. Ron Hubbard's fake religion. Yes, let's just call it that. Let's make it even worse and just call it that fake religion. Yeah, let's give it another name. That one. No, I hear you guys. I do. It is absolutely ridiculous. But there's even more. There's more. There's more. Absolutely. Another reason for the trial, actually motion, not trial, yesterday, was number one, they wanted it to delay. October 11th, they start jury selection. And Cohen came forward to the judge immediately with a new motion saying that everything needed to be delayed because of the governor's race. Yeah, because the governor's race. Because the governor's race is making Danny Masterson look bad because Scientology came up. The word Scientology came up because between Caruso and I think it is Bass is the other one. They were going back and forth about whether or not Scientology is good. Because actually the mayor candidate, Rick Caruso, has campaign ads. He's going for Scientology. He's criticizing them all over the place. Okay. But, Judge Almeida, she said, those statements and everything, even by the statements by his opponent, which is Karen Bass, by the way, they aren't, because Bass isn't actually against Scientology and the other one is, it's all fair. It's what happens in politics. And what does it have to do with this trial? It really doesn't. The mere mention of the word Scientology should not be a bad thing for Danny Masterson. There are so many Scientologists out there. Any connotation with it comes from their acts and them being a part of it. It's something they willingly did. He said that polls have indicated that Scientology was the most nefarious and notorious religion. Well, hello, newsflash. Where you been, Mr. Cohen? You think you should have looked at that before you took your client on? Because that's not new, and that didn't happen because of some damn governor's race. Okay, that didn't happen because Rick Caruso put up a campaign ad. That didn't happen then. Old news. Hello, like it was already there. If you had polled them last year, the year before, or 10 years before that, you would have got the same results. It doesn't have anything to do with Rick Caruso or Karen Bass. Come on. Man, is this guy earning his money or what? I mean, seriously. Hey, Aaron, welcome. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm having fun with this one today. I'm amusing myself greatly. Well, let's get on. I got another picture for you today. Let me show you what Mr. Cohen looks like. I mean, and he is presenting himself as a pretty darn good attorney here. See if I get the right one for you. There we go. Yes, that's Mr. Cohen. Oh, and that was Danny before the haircut. Hey, Mippet. I'm glad to have you lurking, Aaron. Anytime. Did you bring snacks? Charlie's right. Like there's snacks. Mrs. Cassandra, and always, could you take care of the cupcakes in the chat, please? They're hungry. I do believe so too. Kim, I believe this. She says, I do believe that Masterson is still in Scientology. I believe most of his family still have ties there also. I think that's why he is still in. Danny Masterson comes from a family that was well versed, in Scientology for quite some time. And yep, we'll have to think of new names. I mean, there's some good ones in here. Hawkskull, I like yours. Zemus Sycophants. I like that. Zemus Sycophants. Pretty good. Got a ring to it. I can't pronounce it properly, but got a ring to it. I do like that. And Commanders, I think Commander had one in here too. So why don't we just call it L. Ron Hubbard's gift from beyond the grave? It's not even a religion. It's a psychology cult. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother show though, isn't it? I think I did a little bit of cult talk with bearded heretic, our friend Luke, a week or so ago. That was fun. I'd love to get into Scientology with somebody. Well, many people are afraid to talk about it. I'm not. But I did hear, what? Turtle, are you here still? Did you actually tell me that Boozy is saying that I'm a naughty account because I mentioned Scientology? Because just last week I had a perfect 21% rating that I was a good girl. I was a good bear on the Twitters. Like, that's why I couldn't understand why he blocked me. I think he's showing his bias. Think it has anything to do with Herd. Blocking an account that has no nefarious activity? Biased, Boozy, biased. Yeah, I'll call it. Well, yeah, I think Turtle said something about that. Yep. Oh, thank you for Googling for me, Juju. I have a rule now, especially with my new Windows setup. I don't Google live. There's been incidences. Very funny ones, but yeah, I like my channel. I want to keep it up. Oh, thank you. Tacos, beer, and margaritas. Now that is a Tuesday. Thank you, Kim. You know how to fill that chat. That's good. You know what, Turtle? I'm wondering if Mr. Cohen's going to bring this one up yet. Like, there's a presidential race in Brazil. It might go against Daniel Masterson. And I know I'm making fun. But I do like the legal. But this is legal shenanigans for sure. I mean, come on. I mean, he is earning his pay. I got to give the guy props. He writes very, very, very excellent briefs. I've only seen 2 of them. I can't get my hands on these stuff because it's criminal. Anybody got a lead? Hit me up. Okay, I'm very interested in reading deets on this. I do get a lot from Substack through Tony Ortega, through Mike Rinder, or through several people that are writing on it. There's several ex-Scientologists like Aaron Levin who are reporting on it. They have a YouTube channel, and you can find stuff there. They get the information. But like I said, actually seeing the actual, you know me, I love that black and white legal brief stuff. That's my jam. But it's a little waning on the Masterson side. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to cover this case because, come on, Scientology shenanigans all over this. This is legal drama for sure, qualifies. It's a little heartbreaking to know that it's such a horrendous case against the women because I don't like to cover assault. It seems like I end up covering a lot of it. Just look at Manson. It's not my favorite thing to do. It does affect a person, when you think about consent and the actual acts that happen. I like to focus on the legal part of it. In this particular case today, the humorousness of what the heck is going on here, because like he's earning his pay, he really is. But I'm having a good go at it because it is kind of funny. You have to admit. Hey, Kyle, welcome. Yeah, did you, Robski? You checked his IMDb. Man, he's an actor. Okay, he should have acted better, in other things, But hey, allegations only. We're just coming up to the trial. Remember, he's not guilty till the court says so. Okay, until then, it's all shenanigans. You know what? The turtle moves. He's doing so much better than the coated one, than that bad sweater woman. Oh, Elaine. I can't even say her name. It's like Elaine. She gave me a headache. Yes, Aaron. Unfortunately, he was an actor, and now he's just a public example of what not to do if you don't want a bunch of trouble. And yet, we can't really say he's guilty yet, but this is not going well for him. He is a married man. He's married to Bijou Phillips. He's married now. He's still in Scientology. Okay. But, like I see, his lawyers are definitely earning their money. Okay. So anyway, do I actually need to tell you that today, Judge Almeida came forward and said, well, let me talk about that motion yesterday from Mr. Cohen. I'm sorry, but no, we're not delaying for that. The race is going on. We're just going to do this. Okay. We're just going to do this. Like, Judge Almeida. She said, no. I can't be playing around with this. Okay. Even though the defense argued hard about Caruso's ads and similarly anti-Scientology responses by, the other opponent, Karen Bass, they said it was creating an environment that made it hard for Masterson, who is a lifelong Scientologist, to get a fair trial. They're trying to say that if you are a lifelong Scientologist, you can't get a fair trial. Is that true? I mean, wouldn't that be true for any religion? Like, or anything? I mean, you know, mm, I'm sure a serial killer could actually argue that they don't get a fair trial when they're on trial for like 15 murders at once. Don't you think there's public perception about that automatically? I mean, some things are unavoidable. And I do believe in the right to fair trial and being unbiased. I said, but come on, if you're a lifelong Scientologist, you get everything that comes with it, the benefits and the negativity. Maybe you shouldn't do any bad acts to be looked at in the public to have it used against you, if that's a concern of yours. But hey, I digress. Not for me to say. I'm just saying that's ridiculous. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's like a serial killer saying, you got to try me individual for every single case. Otherwise, they're gonna know I did it before, and like it's gonna look bad. It's gonna look bad if you're trying me if you're all 13 at once. What? You did all 13. Yeah, you're going to court for 13. Yeah. That's the serial killer. Daniel Masterson in this case is only going up against 3 charges criminally of sexual assault from 2001 to 2003. Very similar cases that they talk about the pattern. They talk about what happened. They were all in relationships with him at the time. Which makes it complicated. It's going to be an interesting trial. There's many avenues for them to approach. I'm just surprised at some of the silliness that they're doing. I mean, this is circus act stuff going on over here, but hey, they're doing everything they can. This trial has been delayed and delayed and delayed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that Judge Olmedo, she definitely denied that request. And she also said that they are going to actually talk about Scientology. She addressed it. And I'd like to tell you what she said about that. Because this request by the defense about the word Scientology being excluded from the case and replaced only with references of the church or the club and not explained to the jury, that's not fair. And Judge Almeida denied that request, and she said, in her opinion, that the victims, based on their testimony at last year's preliminary hearing, are quite capable of explaining Scientology policies. And so an expert like Claire Headley may not be needed for it. And if it turns out later that if an expert is needed, a hearing could be held at that point to decide whether to bring in Miss Headley. But they will allow the word Scientology to be told and said. There is plenty of testimony from the victims themselves that include it. Judge Almeida made it clear that she's going to allow all testimony about Scientology, but for limited purposes. Okay. For the purposes of the crime, for the purposes of the delay in reporting, for the purposes of the experience of the victims. She's also going to be excluding any testimony of the fact that if Danny is convicted under California law, the victims would then have a year to file a civil lawsuit against him. Okay, the defense had wanted that to be referred to in the order and make an argument that the women were motivated by money. And that Judge Almeida stopped right there. That's victim shaming. She's not having it. That is California law. If he is convicted, they can go forward with it. They are currently suing Scientology for the harassment, but they can go after Danny for other charges later, civilly, if he's convicted. If he's convicted. Okay. He's not named in the charges of harassment with Scientology directly as causing it. She also ruled that the prosecution can introduce specific evidence about firearms and its registration in relationship to certain allegations by one of the victims, Jane Doe, number one, because he did brandish a weapon during the attack. Therefore, his firearm registrations and use of firearms is allowed to come in. Okay. However, now this one was odd. The defense had said they want no mention of Danny Masterson's DJ name. Does anybody know what Danny Masterson's DJ name is? It's really weird. But he uses a pretty vile one. If you know what it means. His actual DJ name. He did brandish a weapon on Jane Doe number one. He brandished and was throwing around a handgun at her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, if he gets convicted in California, bye guns. Mm-hmm. All right. But here's the thing about his DJ name, guys. Anybody? No. I might as well just put it out there. It's DJ Donkey Punch. And we're not allowed to say it during the trial. Yeah, Aaron, that's a good one. They'll probably be able to say that one in the court, but they're not allowed to say DJ Donkey Punch because a donkey punch is a type of aggressive act. From what I understood from me, Google research, mayhem, it was explained to me, and I have to research it a little bit more, but it was explained to me as being an aggressive act during an aggressive sexual act. Usually with willing partners, but in this case, possibly not. But because he uses the name during his DJing, they didn't want it out there. Mm-hmm. Yep. I know. Here we go. All right. So that's out. The judge actually sided with them that would be actually prejudicial. DJ, time to buy soap on a rope. You guys are good with the DJ names, okay? Yeah. But anyway, the full picture is that Scientology, the word is in, it's allowed to be discussed, it's part of the case. All right, DJ Donkey Punch is out. Okay, so is expert testimony from Claire Headley temporarily. She's still going to be able to speak on it as an expert if it becomes necessary about procedure. Okay, she left that loophole there, but she's not going to be able to talk about her experience or her lawsuit or any of that stuff about Scientology. However, the victims are going to be able to talk about their experiences in Scientology because it's relevant. Okay. And DJ, that fake religion, that's a good one. That's also a very, very good one. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. So much happened. Can you believe all this happened in like a day or two, Mm-hmm. Yeah. On a little funny note, that one governor candidate for Los Angeles, Karen Bass, way back in 2010, there was actual footage that came out that she gave a fawning speech at Scientology at one of their grand openings in 2010. But now she's trying to make it, she's backpedaling real bad 12 years later and saying she does not support them and she absolutely condemns all their practices, and she just didn't know. She actually put that out on ABC recently. She wanted it well known she was backing away from them. Okay. Bass and Caruso are actually using Scientology as a bone of contention during this government race. They're going back and forth, and neither one's gaining really much ground on it because nobody really wants to have anything to do with Scientology in general. Okay. As far as the delay because of this race, the judge did come forward today and say, no, we're going forward. Jury selection will still be on October 11th. That's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree with you here, Aaron. We could talk about this a little bit here. Scientology is renowned for using isolation and brainwashing tactics. Yes, They actually train people, even in business, on how to get your point across with the other person not knowing what you're saying or doing. Yes, that's right, Turtle Move. She's not going to be very expert. No Mark Steele. Hey, Sean, welcome. And Chris, hi. DJ Bard Windows. That's a good one. Okay, this one's winner, chicken dinner. Winner. Yes, I like that one. Because, that could be. hmm It is the Amway of religions. It is like an MLN, right? I mean, this is the only religion that I know, okay? And I find this fascinating that you have to sign a contract, okay, that you totally support them in all their religious beliefs before you pay all the money to learn about what the religious beliefs are. Because until you pay money, you don't get to know what you're actually supporting and want to be a part of. You get no idea what they're actually talking about. They kind of go around in circles around it. You got to pay. You got to pay for the religious knowledge. You got to pay for the bill. The billion-year contract is only in, I believe it's Sea Org, right? Am I correct? I mean, come on. When it comes to Scientology, I get so confused with all the separate things. But there's actually one part of it where you do sign a billion-year contract, and you're in it forever and ever. Like, you can't get out. The regular contract that was actually a part of this case is just that you're signing over to truly believe Scientology. You're never going to speak bad against it or any of its members. You're going to follow its rules, but they don't tell you what they are until you pay to get into the MLM structure of it. You actually have to pay for the knowledge of a religion that you just willingly signed yourself over to. Tell me about that. Is that really religion? This is what I want to see come up in an actual Supreme Court hearing. Is Scientology actually a religion, or just some crazy person wrote? I mean, he was a science fiction writer. It could have been a science fiction book for all we knew, and somebody took it seriously and he found a way to make money on it. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. I know. Jujubee, that's true. How did they get? And this might be part of the problem why they are condensing right now. Um, you know, in Sleet, I agree with you. It pushes all my caution MLM buttons. Yes, like what am I paying for? It's a way of life. Like I gotta be there. I gotta work forever. This is ridiculous. It definitely it's a bit scary. Oh, another picture I wanted to show you is the lovely judge. I actually think this judge is doing a bang up job. She's had this case for quite a while. There was another judge before it who actually had to do with the appeals. Remember, there were multiple appeals on this already. Actually, the reason it went to the Supreme Court was because the California Appeals Court had said, nope, trial's going forward. Danny Masterson doesn't get an out on this because of the rules of Scientology and not reporting. Nope, he doesn't. They're not going to arbitration. Arbitration cannot help in regards to a crime. How is arbitration with Scientology amongst its members and ex-members actually going to help in the prosecution of a crime? It's ridiculous. They're two separate things. Anyway, they threw it out that they were ex-members and they did not have to hold to arbitration clauses regardless of what that contract, which the defense submitted, by the way, with the word Scientology all over it, even though they're trying to get Scientology removed from the court case. They didn't like it. They didn't like the fact that the judge ruled it. They didn't like the fact that the California Supreme Court actually held it up and said the judge was right. That nope, you can't hold them to arbitration because they're no longer members. You can do whatever you want. They're no longer members. You can't do that. So Scientology went and did an appeal to the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court, who just came back into session Monday. And on the no, we're not going to look at it list was this brief from Scientology. So there you go. They're not going to do it. Thankfully, just stay out of it. Stay out of it for a while. The court is definitely going forward on October 11th with the jury selection. Okay. Okay. What if what they eventually want you to believe is illegal and they want to carry out crimes, then wouldn't the contract be terminated? There's no contract can contract something legal. You know what? This is true. As far as I know about contract law, it is null and void when it comes to asking you to do anything illegal. That they cannot do that. They cannot do that. And there's also things about First Amendment rights and personal rights that come into that. And contract law would have to be brought into it. Well, they're using religion and religious freedom. They weren't even arguing it on a contract stability or a contract validity. They actually argued it on the freedom to practice their religion, saying that arbitration was part of their religion, saying that even when a member leaves, they're still bound by the religion. Yeah, they tried to go a whole different route on it, and I think that's why the Supreme Court isn't looking at it. This is amusing to me, Aaron. When the ultra-conservative SCOTUS poops on your religious case, you know you are not winning. I like his language, but I'm not saying it. I made a promise to YouTube. Yeah. Sad, isn't it? Icarus, I want a religion that hides all my crimes as well. No. Like too fast driving, parking in the wrong place, eating pineapple on. That is not a crime, eating pineapple on pizza. That's a religious experience of its own. No. That is not illegal. I'll fight you. And I thought you were on my pineapple team, dude. Yeah, we like pineapple on pizza. Like we should not really turn this into that, though. It's not a sin, pineapple on pizza. If pineapple's a sin, well, if pineapple's a sin, nicely done, Aaron. If pineapple's a sin, making me stutter. If pineapple's a sin, I will gladly be a sinner. I love pineapple. I like pineapple on my pizza. Yeah, it's my favorite pizza. And oh God, and so about the court proceedings, the motions over the last couple of days. Does anybody have any other questions on this that I can help you with before I go? Because I'm really just amusing myself at this point at the ridiculousness of this, and I don't want to hammer it. Pineapple and beets on burgers. It's the you know what, Sleet? I've had that, and damn, is it good. I've actually had it where it wasn't a meat burger. It was actually a beet and mushroom burger. Have you ever had a beet burger? Oh my gosh, they were like really good. And it tasted, I wouldn't say meaty, but I would say fulfilling enough that I didn't miss the meat. And I do like a good steak in a burger. Like I could never be a vegetarian. Yeah, beets do. They put oxygenation into your blood. They're one of those big, super ones. Matter of fact, if you do raw beet juice, carrot juice, and an apple with a little bit of ginger, you're going to zing, zing, zing. Your heart's going to sing. I actually can feel an energy boost without the caffeine from that. The only thing without caffeine that gives me an energy boost is that juice. That's right. Hey, Brilliant. Nice to see you. And thanks for the pineapple pizza. Always welcome. Especially if you bring pizza. Yeah. Gosh, Aaron, I'm still getting over your tweet, your message there. It kind of reminds me of the Hocus Pocus 2 is out. And so when I read it, that's the tune I read it to, just so you know. That's what's singing in my head now. Repeatedly. Thank you, Aaron Reese. Repeatedly. Commander 401 has never tried pineapple or pizza. Well, I would say you don't get a vote then, because you have to at least try it. Okay, you have to at least try it to get a vote. There's people out there that actually think it's the worst thing ever. And I'm telling you, I hope they at least tried it first, because I can't see once you tried it how you could say it was that bad. Yes? Yeah. Spinach is very good. Spinach is very, very good. Oh my gosh. All right. Putting pineapple on pizza is a crime. Being forced to eat it is a cruel and unusual punishment. Listen, Turtle, we're friends. Let's not go there, okay? If you don't want to eat the pineapple, you don't have to. But I am not committing a crime. I am committing a culinary exceptional experience that I have repeatedly done for many years. It's my go-to. Mm-hmm. Oh, Brilliant, you're grumpy? You want to hear something funny then? Um, the attorney for Danny Masterson doesn't want Scientology mentioned during the trial at all. He actually petitioned for it yesterday. What do you think of that? Now that's grumpy, huh? That should make you laugh at least. But of course, the judge didn't go for it. The judge did not go for it, which is why I'm in such a good mood. Like I am, like right. Unrefined swine. What is unrefined swine, Charlie? Don't tell me you're against the pineapple, because gosh, you got to right with chilies, Charlie. I thought you were on our side. Please tell me. Oh yes, you are. Okay, I see the other tweet. Man, my heart stopped there, Mr. Welch. Don't do that. Don't do that. Of course, pineapple pizza with spicy sausage and jalapenos. Add some pickled onions and you got a bear. Best way to catch a bear is make an excellent pineapple pizza. Yeah, none of that canned pineapple shit either. Yeah, fresh pineapple, please. But anyway. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the salty, it's the sweet, it's the whole thing together. Savory, salty, sweet. It's all, oh, it's good. Yeah, I see. It could be a deep dish, Sandy. It depends on, how you like it. I like it always, kind of medium crust is my favorite because it holds up well. But it would be good deep dish, especially if you're going to put all that stuff on it. But how did we get to talking about pizza? It's supposed to be about Scientology. I think it's about time I wrap up then, because it looks like there's no more questions in regards to the case. Oh, Robski, grilled pineapple. Oh my gosh, my jam. Oh, here we are. We're going to be talking about food. I could be here for another 4 hours. I would imagine it is the least ordered. It is something people have to get used to, Facty. I agree with that. Especially if you're on the East Coast. Remember, I'm from Jersey. I mean, they try to annihilate me when I order a pineapple pizza. That's why I make my own at home. Okay. Because they don't make it very good out, because it's kind of traditional pizza here in the Jersey, on the shore, here on the East Coast. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, Juju. Fatty, is it even less than anchovies? Although here on the East Coast, anchovies is pretty popular. It's actually really popular. And here's always coming in with the scientific reason why pineapple is good on pizza, because it helps cut all the fats from the meat and cheeses on the pizza. There you go. It does. It just gives you that full, round flavor in your mouth. You know what? I've had buffalo. Charlie, have you eaten buffalo? Because I've eaten buffalo burgers. And I've had a marinated buffalo stew too. I would actually eat that pizza. Wait. I'm sorry. Don't start about my Italian families in New Jersey. And I'm not Italian. Not any part of me. Except for maybe when I get my jersey on and I start cursing. I might sound a little bit, but I'm not. I'm not at all. Oh, no, don't. No, I wouldn't do that. Sleet, I wouldn't do that if, no. The bear does not do spray on. Hell no. Hey, did you miss the part of the icon that's really pale with the red hair? I burn in the shade, dude. I'm not doing spray on, nor will you ever see me with a tan. But I am not covered in freckles. I'll tell you that. I don't have freckles. Although, that's disgusting. No, I'm not one of those. That's all over the bridge. I'm on the shore in central Jersey. I'm not south, so I'm not in the Pine Barrens or very hickish. And I'm not up north where it's all those gold chains, high heels, pumped up hair, and spray tans. That ain't I either. So I'm in the middle. I'm right in the armpit of the United States, just holding my own against both the North and South stuff going on, which is a hell of a mess. Nope, not me. Yep. But anyway. Yes, you guys do. That's why you're my favorites, Charlie, because then you guys are the only ones that curse more than I do. So I get away with it. It's not so bad. Yep. Moderate armpit Jersey. That's me. I'm gonna go eat tacos for dinner. I'm gonna sign off now, guys, because you're making me laugh. And this was a good show. Yeah. Nope, nope. The S is not for soprano. Robski, stop it with the rumors. Don't I have enough trouble with people trying to figure out where I'm from and why I talk the way I talk and what I do, what I do. Just saying, it's not for soprano. I know, no, nope, 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 nope. Nope. That's it. All right, everybody. On that, you all have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Please remember to like, share, comment on the video. And if you haven't subscribed, for whatever lazy reason you can come up with, I mean, I know you're listening to me, so just hit the damn button. You'll get the notifications. You might actually know what's up once in a while when I'm going to come on and not get caught by surprise. Why don't you do that? That would be nice. But anyway, like, share, comment. I love to hear from you all. I like to answer your comments. I really would like to hear what else you'd like to cover. There's a lot of cases going on. Everything's lit right now. But we're not going to have a live trial for a while, as we saw. Tomorrow, we'll be covering Manson. Manson will be a little earlier at 5 p.m. EST tomorrow. And on that, I'll see you all then. Bye.